Success and spiritual development is the topic. And it's a wonderful topic because for most of us, we tend to see them as separate things. Success over here, spiritual development over there. But if we look for a moment at what success really means, what sort of success do we want? Why do we want success? Well, if you say to most people, okay, what's your definition of success? They'll tell you, okay, it's to be the president of this company or the CEO here or the head here. But if you take it deeper and you say, okay, fine, you are the president. Fine, you are the CEO, you are the head. Then what? Then they say, well, then I would have all of the financial abundance and therefore financial freedom. And you say, okay, then what? Well, then I wouldn't have to worry and stress so much about making the money. Okay, then what? Then I would have time for my family. I'd have time for my spiritual pursuits. Then I would be happy. And what's so interesting is in just this 1 minute of dissection of what success is, we recognize that even people whose definition of success is something very material, very financial, nonetheless, even for them, they're aware that the reason that that is their definition of success is because ultimately what it's going to give them is time for their spiritual practice, time to be with their family, time to take a walk in the park, time to watch the sunset, and it'll make them happy. If we recognize that we actually can go straight there, it cuts decades of stress off of our lives. It's like that great parable of the investment banker or big businessman, or choose your top profession of choice. And he goes on vacation to this beautiful beachside village. And one day he's sitting under a tree near the ocean and he sees a fishing boat come in, and the fishing boat docks and the fisherman gets off the boat. And this investment banker says to him, "So what do you do?" And the man says, "I'm a fisherman." And he says, "Oh, but you've only got, 2 or 3 fish." And the fisherman says, "Yeah, well, that's enough. That's all my family needs." And the investment banker says, "But there's so many hours left of the day, like it's still early. You could have stayed out, you could have kept catching more and more fish." And the fisherman says, "Well, why would I have done that since this is all my family needs?" And the businessman says, "Well, because then, you could sell the extra, you get yourself a bigger boat, then every day you can make more, then you don't even have to go out. You can start a company of fishermen, hire the people, they'll go out." And the fisherman says, "And then?" And he says, "Because, now, as it is, I sleep late in the morning. The reason I only go out for a few hours is I sleep late, I get up, I take a beautiful walk, I spend time with my family. I spend time with my friends, I go to our local church, I do all of these things." And the businessman says, no, see, you've got to spend the time in the ocean, you catch the fish, Then you make a company. Then you own the company. You hire other people. They'll keep fishing, bringing in the money. Then, of course, you'll have to move away from this little village. You'll move to the city, but you'll be the one in charge of the biggest fishing company that the country's ever seen. And the fisherman says, and then what? And the businessman says, well, so then that's the great part. Then you'll have so much money that in just a couple of years you'll be able to retire. You can move to the beach, sleep in the morning, spend time with your family, take a walk, only be out in your boat as much as you like, couple hours at most. Enjoy your life. So we laugh because we see the ridiculousness of this, and yet that's actually the trajectory that most of our lives are on. As though first we have to go all the way over here in order to get to be over here, instead of actually just turning and walking in that direction. And that's why when we talk about success and spiritual goals, we realize they're actually the same. That the real success, the straightest path to success is to say, well, what matters to me? And there isn't a cookie cutter answer. I'm not going to sit up here and say to you, well, here's what should matter to you. But just to say that for most people, really what we're looking for, through the money, through the careers, through the high levels of achievement, through the fancy houses, through all of the name and fame, through all of that, really what most of us are looking for is happiness in life. What we're looking for is to have time to take a walk and watch the sunset, to have time to spend with our families, to have time to meditate, time to go to our temples or churches or mosques or gurdwaras or synagogues or whatever our places of worship are. That's success. And that goes hand in hand with our spiritual goals. There's a beautiful teaching that was given by a very, very revered saint who said, success, the only definition of success that matters is how you respond to the inevitable times when the universe does not act the way you think it should. I'll say that again. Success is how you respond to the inevitable times when the universe does not act the way you think it should. That's our spiritual goal. That's our spiritual practice. The only way for us to respond with peace, with calmness, with love, with understanding, to all the times that the universe and all the people in it don't act the way we think they should, is when we are deeply connected inside. When we are not looking in that universe, in those people, for our happiness. If my happiness depends upon whether you give me a raise, my happiness depends upon whether you vote for me, my happiness depends upon whether you buy my product, or whether my product is selling better than your product. If that's what my happiness depends on, then every time the stock market goes up and down, every time my company's ratings go up and down, every time my bank balance goes up and down, every time my weight goes up and down or my relationships go up or down, I'm going to lose my sense of connection. I'm going to respond in an out of control way, whether it's anger, whether it's frustration, whether it's grief. But I'm going to respond, or rather react, as Puja Swamiji always speaks about the light bulb. So it's like, he says, most of us act like light bulbs, that people come through and they flip our switches on or off, and we go on or off accordingly. You treat me with great love, with great respect. You do what I want. You say, yes, ma'am, or I love you, or you're the best, or you're number one, or sure, I'll order 1,000 of those, whatever I'm looking for from you. You say that, I go on. You don't say that, and I'm off. And real success is that connection, that grounding, which only comes from our spiritual path. And so they go hand in hand. That spiritual life is actually the highest level of success. Take anyone who's got a vision of success that's outside and sit them down and calmly go, okay, and then what? And then what? And then what? And what you're going to find with everyone, because we can't eat money. We can't sit across the dining room table from it, have a nice romantic dinner. We can't come home to it and cry to it about the trials and tribulations of our day. We can't put our arm around it in bed. We can't use it to wipe our tears or get a hug when we're feeling down. It doesn't laugh at our jokes. So all of the real joy and real connection that we're looking for in life, we know it doesn't come from money. It's only a medium. It's only that we believe that through that, through a very circuitous route, if I have the money, then people will respect me. If they respect me, then they will love me. Then they will pay attention to me. If they love me and pay attention to me, then I will feel worthy. Then I will feel like I matter. Then I will feel like it's okay to occupy my space on planet Earth. So all of what we do, under the title of success, whatever success means to us, is done with that goal in mind. So why not go straight there? Nothing wrong with being the president or being the CEO or having the money or having the houses. Nothing wrong with that. As long as we're not looking to it to give us that inner experience of peace, of joy, of happiness.